So, what is Pheasel? Well, I'll tell you, Pheasel is the better way to hold your phone. There's a lot of these things out there that it's overcomplicated. It just doesn't work. A lot of times got these little phone kickstands, stuff like that. You slide them out and they work for about 2 minutes, and next thing you know, it's there it goes. Tell you what, Pheasel, that's not a problem. Right now, it's what's holding my phone up when it's would be sitting there falling if it wasn't. So let me tell you. That's not the only thing. That's the kickstand. It's a handy little product that sticks to the back of your phone, which is one of a kind, as I say. It is the only one I can find on the market that, one, doesn't require a full case, two, has varying degrees of openness, which I'll take it off in a minute and show you what I mean, and three, has an actual mechanical function rather than just friction or something like that that'll barely hold it together. But that's not the only thing I have. I also got this other little prototype. It's called the Shelf. It's spelled kind of weird, but I'm not the best at spelling. The Shelf is also really simple, and it is truly one of a kind. I couldn't find anything like it on the market. All it really does is it holds your phone in 4 different ways, so that, let's say you're cooking in the kitchen, right? Cooking, and you're like, oh man, I need somewhere to set my phone, but my counter's all messy. There's so much stuff here. I got like flour and salt. What am I gonna put my phone? I don't want to get dirty. And if I have to touch it all the time, that's just gross. Well, stick this little bad boy to your kitchen counter. Phone just stays in there like a chop. Here, I'll show you while I'm holding it. Bada bing, bada boom. Hello. All right. Anyways, that's not all. Let me take off the back of this little product here. I'm here in the workshop. Not really. It's a closet. Anyways, let's hope it stays up. Okay, that might hold. Without it, might. So this here is the kickstand. Really simple product. Adhesive goes on the back of here. It's on the back of my phone right now. It's because I took it apart. But as you can see, it has the mechanical varying degrees of openness that you don't even have to touch. I mean, you have to touch it to move it, but you don't have to sit there and fiddle with it all the time. It just bada bing, bada boom. The whole business was really born out of almost necessity, more like favors. I came home one day and my dad said, "Hey, I'm having trouble finding somewhere to put my phone when I'm getting up off the toilet." Probably shouldn't have said that, but he said, "Why don't you design a little something for me?" And I said, "Well, I bet you I can." And sure enough, that's how the Shelf was born. Soon after, I realized, man, I'm tired of always setting my phone down and it falling all the time, because that sucks. So I'm like, well, I'll just make a solution, and that's a kickstand. I don't really have much else to say. Ready for some questions?
What kind of material is that made out of? And then second question to that is, how are you going to compete with the hundreds of thousands of other phone products that are currently out there that hold up the phone?
It's made out of PLA plastic. It's all 3D printed from my own home, which gives me a lot more flexibility with designs and things like that. The kickstand, for example, is still undergoing some minor design changes, but this is sort of the first proper prototype. As to compete, I've sort of been using what I call almost a first in, first out type strategy. My plan is mostly, one, make something innovative that works better than what's out there, sell as many as I can as quick as I can, and move on to the next thing and start making that. Unfortunately, due to the nature of stuff like this, it doesn't take much for a much larger company to just push me out of the spotlight. But the one thing I do have over them is I don't have this sort of bureaucracy. of a huge company. You know, I don't have any patents or trademarks or anything like that on any of this. So it's pretty much, I'm forced to keep innovating, which I enjoy, and constantly keeps the new ideas flowing. Like I said, there's a lot of other products really similar, but most rely on sort of inconsistent methods. Obviously, Pop Socket, that's you could consider that a huge competitor, but they're not even really the same sort of category. Pop Socket only really works if you're going to set your phone down here all like this or something. When this works that too, but it also works upright and will hold, unlike I'll say 75% of other products, and the other 25% almost always require a full case for your phone, which I like my case. I don't know about y'all. Thank you.
And you said the adhesive on the back is just something that you stick on the phone, kind of like a pop socket or something would use to make it hold on there? Or is it something that can come on and off? Because I just was thinking, you know, a lot of guys put their phone in their pockets. How would that fit into the pocket with that on there?
The adhesive, it just uses the 3M strips. The shelf specifically uses the refill, the big refill strips. The kickstand currently plan to use the poster strip, since it doesn't require much weight to hold up. So it's already low profile on its own, and it's sort of getting even slimmer. You know, it's slimmer than the phone. It's slimmer than the Pop Socket. So while the adhesive is mostly intended to just stick with the actual product itself, because I know it's just a hassle when you sit there and you're dealing with adhesive and then gets your pockets, you got a bunch of lint and stuff on it. It's not entirely impossible. If you'd like to, you know, replace it on your own, you can. But as of right now, it's just supposed to stay the product. The sort of test wheel here isn't the same because it's still prototyping, early development, but the final product, which is 2 design changes, you know, sticks on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm on the same line of thinking as you just got asked about the questions. So it's a crowded market. You can go to Amazon or Wish or any other place. There are at least a couple of more products doing the same thing that you want to do. So what exactly is your strategy to break into that market?
Originally, I had intended to mostly stay within just the local market, and get a real solid sort of control there. Unfortunately, now with everything going on, that's not possible. I didn't think to include global pandemic in my SWOT analysis, but one thing I have started looking at a lot is moving into online sales, targeting specifically social media pages. I have found I follow the mentality of you go on Instagram, find a page with 100,000 people following it. You know, if 10,000 see that post and you pay $50-$60 just for promotion on that post, 10,000 see it. If 1 out of 100 buys, that's still a lot of people, to say the least. And even smaller amounts, which is more than enough to make a return investment. So it's sort of a slow crawl into it, with the kickstand especially. It's sort of a slow, brutal crawl into it, before trying to gather a name by hopefully a year, maybe a year and a half of business, where I can have a real solid foothold within local and sort of community markets to provide a stable sort of consumer base.
All right, I'll throw something at you. Maybe if it applies, you can think about it. Usually what people that are into this kind of stuff, what they do is they upload their design and somebody in China source it, and Amazon will do a drop shipping. So I would encourage you to understand and learn about drop shipping instead of you trying to print one kickstand at a time with a 3D printer, so that you can scale quicker.
I have full intentions of moving into having other sort of firms, businesses produce it. The problem is usually those, it's hard to get a proper sort of, trying to think of the word. It's really, really expensive unless you're ordering like 50,000, which obviously I'm not ordering right now. That'd be great if I was, but I'm not. So I've looked a lot into plastic injection molding. Even it's almost cheaper to just machine them, pay someone to machine them out. But that said, I do fully intend on buying a hand press injection molder, which is significantly fast, about 25 times faster than the 3D printer setup. You pump out 50 in an hour, no problem. Versus a 3D printer, which sort of, I mean, it's a 3D printer. It's slower than obviously some where it's just and boom. So I would eventually, I'm trying to remember my word there. I knew it started with an E. I would eventually like to expand into having either, like you said, a Chinese or even just a local place sort of pump them out. But until the demand calls for it, I'm also just trying to stick in-house just because then there's no real complications with, well, sorry, there's delay on this, that, or the other, or, weird embargoes and all that type of stuff. So, yes.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Eli, this is Robbie, my turn. So, have you looked into, I guess I got several comments here. So first of all, I feel like the name, while creative, doesn't give you a lot of options to expand beyond phones or that single kind of product line with a kickstand or shelf. And so have you thought about different, an overall company name that was a little different?
I will say the naming is not my strong suit. I'm sort of, I have some requirements for names right now. I actually have a future graphic design student going to Auburn, helping design a logo for me. So that's sort of in the same vein, but inevitably I would like, or eventually I'd like to rebrand a little bit. Because right now it is only focused on, the better ways to hold a phone, but I have found more and more that, especially along the lines of custom printing, that type of stuff, I enjoy, just problem solving. So I haven't thought of any names yet. I've certainly thought I'm going to need to sort of rebrand to something in the future, or at least set aside, change some things around. As of right now, this is just what I'm sticking with, just because the name like Pheasel is sort of that fun, playful name almost. The same way you sort of think of rounded shapes and stuff, sort of friendlier than something with a bunch of jagged spikes. Maybe I'm just crazy, but
no, man, that's good.
In the future, definitely sort of a rebrand, sort of bring it back up from these. I mean, shelf with a PH. I mean, I'm not a naming genius. So I'm looking into future changing things around, changing some names. Right now, I'm going to stick with it just because it sort of gives me a solid base to work with. And people are like, oh, Pheasel, that's a funny name. And I'm like, yes, it is. And I've learned really what's almost better than, sort of wasting a whole lot of time trying to come up with a perfect name. It's just something sort of memorable. And that's what I aim for. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I love the idea of the glow in the dark feature. I think that is actually going to sell a lot because, your phone, put your phone in a dark place and you misplace it. So I think that's a good idea there. Have you looked into existing trademarks for the names? I know you spelled them differently, probably for that reason, but I just wanted to, you can actually go, I know when I did that session and taught you guys on the USPTO website, which is U.S. Patent Trademark Office website, you can actually look for those names, kickstand and shelf, and see if someone has registered those or not.
I haven't looked myself. I sort of almost try to keep it, I won't say generic, but sort of loose enough that range of hopefully no one's done it. Admittedly, that is something I do really need to look into. I appreciate you brought that up. I haven't looked myself. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if those types of things were taken, since they're just really simple. Changing 2 letters, making 2 letters just 1 or 1 letter 2. So I'll definitely be sure to look into that. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Also, you mentioned wholesale and Appendix A of your business plan, but it didn't look like you priced that in on the profit loss statement. So what did you mean by that?
So wholesale, sort of the way I came about the pricing was further down in the appendix. You can find where I sort of broke down individual, almost byproduct sales, which accounts for the wholesale within that. Right now, especially right now, wholesale has been sort of thrown off. Not gonna, no one's gonna be going to the local drugstore. Really, it's just gonna be drive-through. No one's gonna be walking inside looking for, oh, I wonder what sort of phone accessory I can buy today. So really, wholesale has been almost thrown out the window for now, for the short-term future. I would like to get into it much later, especially with a solid sort of reputation. Yes, further in the appendix, it does account for wholesale and delivery and that type stuff. Instead of just taking out sort of a wholesale, taking that out as a loss, it's just already incorporated when you look at the actual sale number. The same way that delivery products are more expensive, but on that one I did take out delivery as a loss. I apologize. I learned a little bit after I put all that together that was not sort of as banker investor friendly as a lot of other sort of financial statements and all that type of stuff.
Thank you, Eli.
Well, thank you.
Tim, do you have any more questions?
Nope, I think I'm good. Thanks, Eli. Great job.
Thank
Robbie,
you.
do you have a question?
No, thanks, Eli. Good job.
Thank
Eli,
you.
anything else you'd like to say?
I don't really have anything else I'd like to say. Hope you all have a good day. I don't know, things are crazy, but seems like I'm getting through it all right.
Thank you very much, Eli.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.